It's time to address our doctor shortages in WA. Curtin University has asked the federal government to support a new 5-year undergraduate medical degree. We believe this will benefit our entire community and put more doctors where they're needed most.
Okay, and the reason for setting one up at Curtin?
Well, the fundamental reason is that the West Australian people deserve equal access to medical care with the rest of Australia, and we currently don't have it. We're quite badly under-doctored in Western Australia, despite the outputs of the other two medical schools, and only the creation of another medical school graduating about 100 new doctors a year is going to fix that problem.
Curtin University's proposed new medical school has raised serious concerns amongst medical students.
Unfortunately, we're seeing a bit of a short-sighted approach from the proposed third medical school. They want to increase medical student numbers without having any regard for the fact that there's a shortage in internships and pre-vocational training at the end of the line. You know, it grabs headlines to say, oh, we're opening a new medical school, and people think, oh, there's a new medical school, there's going to be more doctors. Unfortunately, more medical students doesn't equal more doctors. What it does equal is a more overburdened health system and compromising in training for everyone.
And we understand that there is a need for more doctors in Western Australia, but we need to gradually increase the student numbers and also increase the internship and training position numbers so that we're actually training doctors and not just students. If there's not enough internships, then we lose the students to interstate and overseas, which is just pointless. There's no point training Western Australian graduates that don't then practice here.
We think that instead of putting in this huge amount of money into making a third medical school, what we should do is invest this money at the end of the line and make training positions so these people who have already graduated can then, be doctors and serve the West Australian community.
If we got approval to open a medical school this year, which is very, very unlikely now, we wouldn't produce any graduates into this overcrowded young doctor situation in Western Australia until 2021. So that's 7 years to work on this problem. So my plan is to work with the AMA and other groups to develop a 10-year workforce plan in Western Australia that'll develop the training program progressively over time, so that as the increased number of graduates from Notre Dame and University of Western Australia come through the system, they themselves will be the supervisors for the young doctors that end up coming through from Curtin.
We do have a problem with our hospitals and our GP practices being saturated with students currently. It's not just medical students that train in the hospitals, there are physio students and nursing students and other allied health professionals. And we all rely on clinical experience in order to learn. It's the best way to learn, by the bedside. So if we add another 100 students into this system, it's a massive influx which the system can't cope with.
Curtin University also claims their third medical school would benefit the doctor shortage in many rural areas.
What we need to do is to recruit students into medical school who have got an ambition to be a GP and come from rural areas or outer metropolitan areas, which predicts a greater likelihood that they'll return to work there as GPs. And that's what we intend to do here. We intend to run a medical school with a particular focus on encouraging people to be GPs and to work in underserviced areas.
Unfortunately, their quota for rural students from a rural background is only 20%, which is well below both University of Western Australia and Notre Dame, and also below the 33%, which reflects the demographics of Australia. And obviously that's not going to lead to any increase in doctors where we really need them, which is our rural areas.
Commencement of Curtin's medical degree depends on Commonwealth approval of places for students and Australia Medical Council approval of courses. This is Nora O'Malley for the Undercurrent.